Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing match here at the Community Crossover the Cup. I am your play-by-play for the evening, Captain Jack, joined by Man of Class in the color role as we see Kings Row Saints versus Andromeda Supernova going at it tonight in our 16-team single elimination series. How you doing tonight, Man of Class?
Doing great, feeling lovely, feeling great, watching some Overwatch, casting some Overwatch. It's all going to be good tonight, Captain.
Oh, it is going to be fantastic. We're going to go ahead and start things off on Elios, the map Elios. So we're going to be seeing a lot of boops, going to be seeing a lot of new combos. So far in the matches that I've seen that have been cast in the CCC, despite the fact that this is not 2-2-2 locked just yet, um, we've been seeing a lot of 2-2-2 combinations, and some of them have been coming out really deadly. Like not even your typical bunker composition, which people thought was going to be kind of this primary focus. Switching to the 2-2-2 meta, we've been seeing a lot of the hog Risas though, which has been interesting. What have you been seeing so far during this series?
I mean, it's kind of what you're describing, right? A lot of teams still already playing that 2-2-2 style. I mean, they're sort of in that mental state where they're saying, you know what, it's going to happen anyways. We don't have really any other tournaments lined up that don't require us to not run 2-2-2. So why not already start practicing it? Why not start playing it? And you see it happen. It's going to be a lot of Hogarissa, like you said, maybe some dive. Ryan Zarya, though, not that much in there unless you go to a map like King's Row. It's not really something people run a lot. So I'm looking forward to the Hogarissa thing. And I think a lot of people, while they're saying yes, it's going to be bunker meta, I think the main thing everyone was referring to was their Hogarissa, which is not
Hmm.
necessarily a bunker style. And when we're going to ruins here, it doesn't have to be that. I've seen a lot of dive work out very well here lately, especially with the 2-2-2 thing coming out. And maybe some Widowmakers. It's always good in lanes.
Oh, you always see some Widowmaker action coming to the ruins here. So it's going to be definitely incredible for us here at Galaxy Esports. Go ahead, hit that heart at the top of the stream. We'll be coming at you with much more action, not only with the Community Crossover Cup, but also with our own tournaments that will be coming online in the months to follow. So be sure to be active and hit that heart button so you can follow all the action going on here. What do you see going on for the teams, though, Mana Class?
I do actually see ghosts on one side. It's new. It's
Ooh.
exciting. It's something we haven't seen ever. No, it's the Kings Row Saints gonna go over to that one, and it's understandable. I mean, that's something they've practiced a lot. If they want to get a win in this tournament, it's still something they can run. It is a very classic version though, only swapping out the Zen for the Ana, and that has not been proven as strong, especially when you get into this Sombra dive on the other side.
It is going to be interesting to see how this all goes down. We see already health pack getting hacked by Guardian Mad as they go ahead and start moving into the objective. Paragon trying to set a very forward approach as Varney ends up getting caught onto the tree right there. Violet diving in, ends up getting Whale first off as Seinfeld follows up on Violet with the boop there from the Jets. Stag ends up getting green die, returning the favor right there. 5v4 on the objective right now as it looks like Kings Row Saints is trying to take the objective in their favor, but they're going to get taken down very quickly. Guardian Mad getting the double kill on Paragon and Snowbrit right there as they go ahead and now shift the objective into their favor and start the percentage climb for Supernova.
Yeah, looking very good on that dive composition, using those both those the Wrecking Ball and the Winston, creating a lot of space for themselves, and they're both hard to kill. They really don't want to be. So the Goats has a hard time catching them, and that's really what you see coming out from Kings or Saints right now. They're really trying, they really want to get them, but they just have to. Well, they keep being out rotated really by all the mobility on the other side.
Well, the interesting thing is we see Whale switching over to the Moira. Oh, Minefield coming into the room as Barney ends up taking down Paragon. Guardian Mad following up on Nexus right there. So you got your two main tanks already out of the fight as we see Barney booping off Green Die right off the side of the map. And that's going to be a clean reset as we see the team now swapping over to a floats composition. Gonna still keep that Zarya on hand, but go more dive meta than goats meta.
Yeah, Paragon feeling a little bit too surrounded there. Definitely understandable when to go over there. They have some ultimates to work with, but we're going to see a Nano Blade on the other side. That's going to be hard to counter for them.
Diva Bomb going into the back line. Doesn't end up getting much of anything, unfortunately, as the slam coming in from Varney. Nano Blade coming in onto Stag, as well as the EMP. That's going to get 4 as Stag gets the double kill. Varney following up on Nexus as Violet using the Primal to take down Whale, and Hidden Booties ends up booping Seinfeld right off the side. 74% and climbing right now for the side of Supernova.
You thought you had that sound barrier ready, but the EMP just canceled all that out, and they still, despite defending 3 ultimates, come out on top of the ultimate economy. Still have that support ult, still have that tank ult from Varney again, and it's going to be a great fight for them once again.
Well, let's see if they can make it happen. Slam coming in from Varney onto the high ground and able to get away successfully. As right now, Kings Row Saints just having a lot of difficulty dealing with everything going all over the place right now. Violet ends up taking down Green Dye in the back line as Varney gets the DMAC onto Seinfeld, as well as the kill onto Nexus. 99% overtime ticking away right now for the side of Supernova as Kings Row Saints trying to hold on to the objective. Primal from Paragon ends up taking down Guardian Mad and Asleep as Violet follows up on Paragon in return. And that is going to be an objective capture for the side of Andromeda Supernova, 100-0.
Yeah, it was a very clean objective point taken from them. It was just 100-0. They never really looked in under a lot of pressure. They always had the ultimates. They always had the tools to work with. And a lot of that comes down to now to just the pure counter pick meta that we're going to be entering. Not a lot of teams exactly knowing what the meta is, so to speak. So a lot will be on, you see them running these heroes, just pick the other heroes that counter them. And that wasn't really coming in just yet from Kings Row Saints, but it looks to be a little bit more of an even matchup here because they're both on a pseudo goats composition.
Yep, we got the Sombra Goats coming in from Kings Row Saints, while we have, I believe this is the OG traditional Goats coming out for the side of Supernova. And Supernova going to be the first ones to touch the point. Nexus or on the Sombra looking to get that hack in the backline right there as we see Snowbrick getting some boops onto the side of Supernova. It seems like the teams are just going at it right now with one another. Supernova pushing right in. The tackle misses Green Dye just barely from Varney. Ends up getting sleep darted, but already has the shatter. Gonna get taken down by Seinfeld as Paragon follows up on Guardian Mad, but Hidden Booties ends up getting Paragon as well. The hack comes in onto Violet as Seinfeld melts Stag, a super powered Seinfeld right now coming in to do some damage as the hacks continue to come in. Ends up getting booped off the side, as well as the anti-nade ends up getting a sleep from Whale, and that's going to be a capture of the objective for Kings Row Saints, 5% and climbing.
Yeah, now we're getting into the ult fiesta of everything. 6 online already for Kings Row Saints. Going to be close to 6 already on Supernova as well. But it's all about that execution. And if the fight goes long, this could be a very close one.
We will see how it goes again. The move coming in. EMP! It's a 6-man. The shatter coming down as well. It's the cleanup to follow, and it's going to be an easy day. You just see Violet and Asleep just like, nope. Just right out of here. Just nope, not happening this time.
We got familiar to that Houston special, as some people will call it. Just the hack shatter, just completely out of there. Can't do anything to block that when you're hacked up. And I mean, only 2 ultimates winning a fight, but now they got to fight into 6.
3. They use the rally as well.
Ooh.
But here comes Speed Drop coming in, as well as the rally to keep them on point. The Sleep Dart goes in, almost pooping Green Dye off. Shatter coming in from Varney, looking to do some cleanup right there as Hidden Booties and Violet follow up on Green Dye and Paragon. This may be exactly what they need to take this objective, and everything in the kill feed is coming up red right now. The only one left on the objective is Snowbrick, gonna distract just a little bit longer, but gonna end up getting away. Oh, who else was on there? Oh, it looks like Nexus was also on there. Got them up to 71%. Now we're gonna see Supernova start their percentage climb as well.
Few things that went kind of wrong there. Mostly was, I mean, for both teams really. Like Sleep used this sound barrier way earlier than Snowbrit, which usually gives the advantage to the team that uses it second. But Seinfeld got the Grav eaten. There was a complete fight plan gone. They really wanted to go in with that, they couldn't. And Seinfeld is building up to another one quickly, but Stag has already got it.
All right, well, let's see if they can make it happen. The tackle coming in from Paragon ends up missing as they get punched by Stag. Varney following up on Whale. It's a 4v6 fight, moving its way to the objective right now as Varney trying to take out Seinfeld and will be successful with the help of Hidden Booties as Varney follows up on Green Dye and Hidden Booties takes down Snowbrit as well. That's another clear of the objective, 44% and climbing for Supernova.
And Supernova is so disciplined here. They haven't used ultimates at all. They used the rally there, but Stag has had the Grav up for like 3 fights now. And I'm really waiting for that to happen because Seinfeld's already lapped him. He's got a second one. Nope, this doesn't get eaten.
Well, let's see if they can do it. Shatter coming in from Paragon to start things off, but the EMP was just a little too late. So we don't get the follow-up from that. Snowbrit following up on Guardian Mad as Nexus takes down Varney, but Violet ends up getting the rocket thruster kill onto Seinfeld as Green Dye takes down the Hidden Booties. Here comes the Graviton. Diva Bomb combo in it, but the shield is able to stay up just long enough for Paragon to take down Asleep with the Fire Strike just after. 82% and climbing right now as we see Guardian Mad on the objective, ends up getting booped. Double Shatter coming down, but it's not going to be enough as Nexus ends up taking down Varney. That's going to swap right back over to the side of Kings Row Saints, 75% and climbing to 93% for Andromeda Supernova.
It's got to be the last fight. If you look at the ults, they're fairly even with that EMP from Nexus. If they can get that up in time, that could be great. And in general, we've just seen this relatively passive stance from the side of the Kings Row Saints. And every initiation almost has come from, actually from Supernova. I'm sorry. And Kings Row Saints goes to initiating.
Already popping from Hidden Booties as the Graviton comes out. EMP as well. Will they get the cleanup? Here comes the Shatter coming from behind, and the beat drop coming from Asleep trying to keep the rest of the team up, but it's not going to be enough. Overtime ticking away right now, and we are headed to Boop Central after Asleep finds the end of Paragon's Hammer. We're headed to Well for our next map in this now 1-to-1 series here on Ilios.
You really saw the difference when they were playing Goats versus Dive or just Goats versus Goats. This is what the Kings Row Saints are used to. They definitely know what they're doing. And it felt like Supernova was a little bit out of their comfort zone. I was sort of waiting to see what was going to happen and then reacting to that. And that was also why you saw their ult usage just be a little bit lower. It's good to save ultimates sometimes. It's good to have that strong ult economy, but you don't have any use for your economy if you just never use the ultimates. Because you'll eventually, if the enemy uses twice the ultimates that you do, you should lose that game. That's just sort of a mathematical thing. 12 versus 6, that's sort of a higher number wins in that case. And that's sort of what happened in that map, I feel.
So, how are you feeling about this? We got triple heals coming out from the side of Kings Row Saints. And we got our 2-2-2 Hog Risa combo coming out for the side of Andromeda. So this is interesting. Normally you don't see Ryan Zarya on this map, so this is going to be huge if they can make it work. Barney already getting the shield taken down very early in that fight as Guardian ends up taking down Paragon with the concussion mine. Seinfeld also finds themselves getting taken out as Stag falls Nexus, TGK, as well as Green Dye. And that's going to be an objective capture for the side of Supernova, 10% and climbing.
And that really was an odd situation in which you would say, like, yeah, normally the Goats combination has to get close to the Hog-Orisa combination in order to start doing their damage. And they got very close, and then they sort of stopped. And they didn't keep running through the Orisa shield and killing everything. They sort of tried to walk around them still, and then they got pulled and pushed up the map, and they just died. So they're gonna try the same route again, and this time they have to get close. They have to get close and start swinging that hammer and just start killing them. And it looks like that's what they want to start doing.
High noon already coming out from Stag to start things off. Nexus ends up getting hooked and demeched as the tire coming out ends up getting the double onto Seinfeld and Snowbrit in the backline right there. And it looks like Paragon trying to escape, but ends up getting shot in the back by Violet as Stag takes down Green Dye, and Whale and Nexus just find themselves at the bottom of the well.
Yeah, unfortunately, unlike the last point we saw here, it's not looking very good for Kings or Saints. They don't want to adapt anything, and I
It
think feel
doesn't
like they
seem
really
like.
need to. I really feel like they need to because they adapted way too late on Ruins, and I mean they're not willing to do so here. They might swap after this fight if they lose it, but it's going to be too late. Should have done it sooner.
I agree, and Well has never been a goats heavy map, so it's really interesting that they're still running this as heavy as they are. The tackle ends up coming in from Paragon, almost gets booped straight into the well. The shatter comes down, doesn't seem to get much of anything as Guardian ends up getting the D-Mech and kill onto Nexus. V-drop rather comes in from Snowbrick. Quad kill! Coming in from Guardian Mad as Barney follows up on Green Die. The only one left is going to be Whale on that Ana, and that's going to be an objective recaptured by the side of Supernova, 90% and climbing. And honestly, I feel like you said, the swap is going to be a little bit too late.
I don't think the swap even is enough. I mean, just that Winston, and they're not going to do much for you. I mean, they don't really have much of a choice right now. Nexus is already getting hooked in, and that
Nexus
is
already
a rough
finding
fight.
themselves at the bottom of the well as the High Noon coming out, ends up getting the double with Violet and Asleep using that whole hog. Snowbrick gets the double and is holding on as much as possible, but it's not going to be enough as they get booped to death by hidden booties. And that's going to be game one of this 4, possibly 5-game series. Supernova taking away the victory here on Ilios 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, potentially they maybe got the Lucio play of the game there with that last one, but nope, it's going to be
Nope.
Guardian with that 4K. I mean, hey, double environmental kill on high health targets, that could be something big. So it could have been.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the thing that was so interesting to me was the fact that that he was able to wait out that beat drop for so long before using the tire, and then was still able, like they hadn't been able to finish engaging on that to make sure that they didn't get taken out right there. So
yeah, so like the way they played was on side of Kings or Saints was very interesting. It was like they looked like they were starting to do the right thing, right? Like I explained, you have to walk through the shield of the Orisa and just start smacking them, because if you get into that close range, they're not that strong anymore. They don't want you to get that close. They want you to keep at medium range so they can keep poking at you. But didn't really happen for them, because every time they got close enough to start doing something, they sort of halted and waited for a bit and then started again. It's like when you go on a class field trip. When you get to the amusement park, like, okay, we can start doing things now, and the teacher's like, no, wait, let's first count if everyone's here, and then you can go. And that sort of felt like what was happening. I don't know whether they were waiting on cooldowns or waiting on something else, but there was sort of a disconnect of where first it was already in the first fight. They walked into that room on the right. It's like, okay, they're gonna go, and then they waited, and they probably waited for speed boost, but you don't have to wait for speed boost if they're already next to you. Yep. And the Orisa's not going to be that fast. You're going to be able to catch up to her, and if she's running, she can't shoot at you. So I don't know. It was like, again, it was a little bit of a weird one. Maybe they could have swapped off as well. But Supernova also played it well. They rotated at the times they needed to. They played the compositions that they played well. And they just understood how to do it. They got a little bit of a disconnect in their ult economy usage on but was it on Lighthouse? That's called.
Yep.
But other than that, they've been looking good. And when we go to Numbani, I'm really interested to see if Kings of Saints is going to stick to this GOATS competition that they've basically been running nonstop, or if they're going to be a little bit more adaptable.
Well, that's the thing with a lot of different competitions going into the 2-2-2 lock for next season. You would think that Kings or Saints, among the rest, are really practicing out this 2-2-2 lock compositions, trying to see what works, what doesn't work for them. But if like we saw on Ilios, that they're kind of stuck in their ways right now, it's definitely going to be a difficult season for them going into whatever competitions they may find themselves in.
Yeah, I'm going to Numbani here once again. It's going to be interesting to see if they are making some swaps or making some adjustments, because I don't. This is while it was possible in the past to run goats here, it just isn't anymore. And I don't think just swapping out the Reinhardt for the Winston like they're doing here is going to cut it. Well, of course, I'm always happy to be proven wrong. But the way they kind of have to play this, if they have to make sure the high ground isn't taken over. They have to control the choke points they can get through. And with the Winston Diva jumping up and down from the high ground, a little bit of help from the Lucio as well in that regard, they could do that. It's very much possible, but yeah, it's just been this map, especially with like Fires and Doomfist, which you may see from the other side. It's become a lot harder to run this 3-3 style that they want to do.
I completely agree with you there. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to end up seeing here on Numbani as we see the attacks starting to come in from Supernova. It looks like they're going to swap off the Doomfist for the Sombra instead, which is also going to be a huge counter to this float scenario they got going on right here. The Bar of Mercy, Ore finding themselves on the high ground right there as the barrier going down for Green Die, putting themselves in a difficult position. They're trying to take control of the high ground as we see the dive come in from Barney, ends up chasing down Whale, and will be successful. The rest of the dive moves in, just not soon enough. Looking to get a pick of their own if at all possible, and it may be first tick already on the objective as you see teammates from the side of Supernova just kind of swapping in and out on the objective as they continue to fight onto the high ground, picking off one after the other members of the King's Row Saints. And it looks like Nexus going to end up finding themselves off the side of the map thanks to an assist from Guardian. First objective, Ore captured within the first 30 seconds. 5 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock to move into objective number 2.
That's exactly what I was afraid of. They tried to play the floats composition in the way you used to play dive on this map, and that just does it's not gonna cut it. Because the beautiful thing about that counter dive was you either go on their backline while they're going on your backline, or you all go to the front line that's going on your backline, and they had the tools to do neither of that. So that's going to be very hard for them to deal with. It's going to be a little bit different on the rest of the map here, but it's still going to be hard. Until they get to that last point, they're never going to become full this goes.
Well, Nexus getting hacked in the backline by Stag, ends up getting taken down very early in the fight. No hit scan. Here comes the barrage down. Does end up getting Green Die there at the end, just barely. And the res trying to come in for Varney right there, ends up getting canceled by Seinfeld as Stag ends up following up on Seinfeld from the rear. We see both Stag and Guardian trying to hold on to the objective with the help of Violet on cart. And they're going to continue to push forward. 4 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. And it looks like Kings Row Saints might now be able to push them back a little bit. Nano going in onto Paragon, just swinging away as Reinhardt does. But really, like, swinging at nothing.
Just a little bit of a threatening Reinhardt. You know, he's glowing. He's glowing with pride. I don't know what it is, but I mean, they took out the right targets on the defense, and they managed to deny the rest. That was good.
Oh, so close. That EMP was almost on time right there. It did end up getting the people it needed to, but the shield protected from the bomb being dropped. Primal comes in as the shatter coming down from Paragon, looking to do some cleanup on the objective. Not going to be followed up on his Stag. Ends up getting Nexus once again, as well as Whale in the backline right there. 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock as Varney gets the boop kill onto Snowbrit. Seinfeld incredibly charged up right now, but the barrage coming out from Guardian Mad going to go ahead and shut down Seinfeld as Green Die gets Guardian and Violet gets Green Die. It's a 1-for-1 on the objective. Now 4 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock to defend against objective 3.
Guardian and Stag immediately swapping over Varney as well. They think they cannot push this with the dive competition they had. I didn't really have that many ultimates left, so I might agree with them. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a good timely swap so they can actually get going and get some ultimates out. They have 4.5 minutes, but building ultimates and getting a good fight can take a while. So gonna go in with this right now.
Ore coming out for
wait, what?
Nexus right there, and it looks like
I understand.
swapping.
Like, I understand the high noon, but I would have thought they would have at least taken one fight win with the Draft Dragon because they had it up. But they're not.
I guess not. They're going to come in. Nexus swapping over to the Sombra. Here comes Seinfeld with the Graviton, but the beat drop coming in from asleep. Going to keep him going as Varney takes down Green Die, as well as the Fire Strike onto Paragon right there. Asleep ends up getting hacked in the backline. Seinfeld incredibly charged, but is the only one remaining on the objective right now. As we see Nexus in the back line trying to keep the cart from moving if at all possible, but now they're the only target. The slam now coming in from Paragon in on the Hammond. We're going to see some spin to win action going on right here, but with no shield, we're going to see the oh man, we're going to see the Diva Bomb come in, take down Snowbrit. and Paragon going to fall to Varney, and that's going to be an objective capture right there. 3 objectives with just about 3 minutes 26 seconds on the clock for another push.
You gotta have to wonder. I mean, even if because I think even if they hold on to that Graph Dragon, right? If they use that in that fight, you gotta still wonder would they still have completed the map. But 3 minutes 26, that could have been at least like around 2 minutes or less. I don't think this time bank really should have been necessary. I mean, first point, second point, I get it. You lose it relatively quickly because of a snowball, but they had that Graph Dragon up, and then they use a dragon willy nilly, swap off the Hanzo. And I think Graph Dragon right now might be one of the strongest old combinations, if not the strongest in the game, because there's nothing really blocking them outside of a Transcendence and a Sound Barrier that they didn't have online on the attack. So I really think that might have been where that defense finally really crumbled. They just used the ults and they didn't initiate quickly with the Graviton because they were still swapping in spawn. So there was a lot of things going wrong there for them. And Supernova was just allowed to capitalize on it. It wasn't Supernova playing well. I mean, they all also played well, obviously. They knew what they were doing. But I think it was Kings Crusade also just being a little bit flustered and just making a few mistakes because of that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly for certain what it was they were going for. That would have been a great clear of the objective right there with the Grab Dragon as well as the High Noon to be able to solidify anyone that didn't get taken out by the Grab Dragon by the end. Like, you would have been able to at least clear the objective once and then swap and then go back. So I think it was, as you were saying, just miscommunication somewhere along the line. But now we're going to see, again, that Far Mercy combo with the dive coming out from the side of Supernova as we see the Genji and Sombra between Nexus and Green Dye coming in for the side of Kings Row Saints. They're going to go ahead and hop out, but the hop's going to come in as well from Supernova and clean up what was going on there on the high ground. That's going to be a triple kill between Guardian, Asleep, and Stag. And the other 3 are going to get picked off one by one as Violet ends up getting Green Dye on the high ground.
Yeah, and they do finally show that versatility. They show that willingness to adapt and the acceptance that the 3-3 isn't working out so far. So they're just going over to the Genji Sombra, which is a pretty powerful combination on this map. You of course have the Nano Blade, you'll have the EMP, they have the dive tank, Sound Barrier. They should be good here, but they really need to start doing some proper dives.
Yep, that seems to be the miscommunication right here, is that they dove into like 2 different directions and they didn't really have a target. And especially with dive meta, you need to make sure that you have one person that you're all kind of shooting for, and they're all seem to be shooting for the Far Mercy, but they end up getting away as Varney jumping in retaliation ends up getting Snowbrit as they jump back into the action. Green Dye ends up falling to Varney as well. It's 4v6, and it looks like the rest of the team are just going to get slaughtered one after the other right now. Ooh, Varney taking an unexpected hop right off the side of the map. But I would imagine that they're going to... Yeah, it just might have been a miscalculation on that hop.
Probably. Well, I mean, you said it pretty well before the fight started. Like, the disconnect, like, who are they diving? But that is the main question. Who are they going to dive on this enemy team?
Where was that?
I don't know. I don't know what that. Maybe they thought they could get the summer or something. I don't know.
I don't. What is going on this game?
Let's just see what happens in this fight. Honestly.
Green Dye going back in ends up getting hacked by Stag right there. Ultimate's coming online as the Valkyrie coming up for hidden booties. Nexus able to get Guardian mad. EMP coming out from Stag ends up getting the Quint. But we're going to see the Primal come out to try to defend the team as Varney taking down Nexus and Green Dye. We're going to see the Res come in for Varney as well as Stag and Asleep end up falling. Paragon and Whale. Seinfeld's going to be the last one on the objective along with Snowbread to be taken out very quickly by Guardian Mad. And that is going to be an end of that push. 1 minute on the clock now and only 1 tick on the objective.
If there's ever one fight everything was supposed to start happening in, it's this one. But Stag somehow builds up 80% to the next TMP. If they don't initiate quick, Stag is just going to deny everything they want to do with things like a Nano Blade.
That's absolutely right. DMP coming out, 6-man There it is! Diva Bomb gets the double. Let's see if they're gonna do the. It looks like they're gonna hold on to the Nano Blade as the beat drop comes in, trying to keep everyone in the action. The hack comes in onto Varney as Paragon gets the double between Varney and Asleep. That second tick. Oh, almost third tick. Somebody's on the objective. It looks like it was Stag, but not for long. 2 minutes 30 seconds added to the clock. That's going to give them 2 minutes 45 seconds to start moving that payload, and hopefully they can move it rather quickly.
Yeah, they got that target they really, really needed to get, which was Stag on that Sombra, because he had that EMP online when the fight started, and if he hadn't been hacked, he might have just thrown out the counter EMP, and that fight could have still gone Supernova's way. Like I said, they got to make some pace, though. They got those 2 ultimates, but so have to do the defense. They have quite a few more.
Well, let's see if they can go ahead and make that happen right now. Stag in the back line. 5-man EMP as the barrage comes out from Guardian. Ends up taking down Snowbrit and Whale right there as the rest of the team just cleans up the side of Kings Row Saints. Team kill going to ring loud and proud right now for the side of Andromeda Supernova. 2 minutes remaining on the clock for Kings Row Saints to get to objective number 2. It looks like they're going to make a swap or two.
It looks like they do. Not that many, though. It's an interesting way to go about this, where they have the McCree, because they want to deal with this fire a little bit more directly. They're going to be able to do so, but you do see the defensive post immediately coming in for Guardian. Just doesn't want to get that close. But there's the Nano Blade.
Here comes the Nano
There
Blade.
it is.
Looking to do some damage. The beat drop comes in from Asleep as well as the Diva Bomb. But it's not going to deny much of anything. Violet ends up getting the DMEC onto Seinfeld. The Blade doesn't manage to get a single pick due to the combination of beat drop and Valkyrie on the objective. Paragon coming out with the Primal, looking to see if they can clean up on the damage, as well as Snowbrit with the beat drop. Hidden Booties bringing Guardian back from the dead as Nexus was laying them to rest, as Asleep ends up taking down Green Dye with the fist. Triple EMP coming out from Stag right now as the Primal gets popped by Varney, and Asleep and Varney are going to start clearing the objective right now. 1 minute remaining on the clock, and it's not going to be enough for KRS to continue pushing as Andromeda holds them at the gate.
I'm a firm believer in saying it's never over until it's over, but this is looking dire straits here in the Streets phase, and that's not something you like to say about the Kings Row Saints. I mean, they've been working hard, they've been playing their dues, but it's just it's looking so good for Supernova on the defense here. They're just stopping them, and there's nothing that they really do against Guardian right now. I mean, Nexus is trying, but the range is just so it is a disadvantage.
Diva Bomb coming in on the back of the dive, but the shield's gonna keep it up just a little too far or out of position or something. Just was not able to get it where it needed to be. Hidden Booties coming online with the Valkyrie as Nexus ends up taking down Guardian once again. Stag getting Whale in the backline. High Noon coming out from Nexus, looking to get that shield down as much as possible, but it doesn't look like it's going to get much of anything, unfortunately. Diva Bomb going into the backline, gets caught on the high ground, gets the double, and the DMEC onto Seinfeld. The Stag ends up following up on Snowbread. It's clear of the objective now between Violet and Varney. Overtime is going to go ahead and tick away, and unfortunately, Kings Row Saints are going to find themselves at the end of a Supernova once again, as we see them take the lead in the series 2-0 here on Numbani.
2-0. Yeah, I mean, it's a great start. Obviously, one more win and they're done. But we could still see a turnaround. It could definitely happen. We need to see a win here for the Saints. And it does feel like they're a little bit behind on the meta shift right now. It's not... That's not something... That, obviously, not a comment on their play. I mean, they've probably been doing a lot of things where they just require to not have to do the meta shift that much yet. It's just a little bit of a shame. You know, you hope for a nice series, you know, see some nice play, and then Supernova just comes in and said, you know what, we're gonna play what's meta now for us. And if you're gonna play, yeah, I mean, Kings were saying just playing something that isn't quite meta anymore, and they're kind of getting overrun by it. And once again, not a comment on them. It's just the fact of what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Like Mana Class and I are from the Rose Cup, which we saw Kings Row Saints work their way to the top of the Gold Division ladder. And as you all know, this is a Platinum / Diamond division. I'm not for certain where Supernova is in the rankings concerning team average SR, but it seems like they're working off of two different playbooks right here. So, Kings or Saints, we're going to give you about 5 minutes, as well as the people at home, to enjoy a little break before we move on to Volskaya Industries, going to be our next map. So, hopefully they'll take advantage of that time. We'll be back here at Galaxy Esports in another 5 minutes. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Community Crossover Cup. We're still here with the series between the Kings Row Saints and Super Andromeda Supernova. Going into this, Supernova's leading with 2-0. I'm out of class here today, still with Captain Jack. How are you enjoying the series so far?
It's going really well, but I think we've been really noting kind of the performance coming out from the Kings or Saints during this matchup. It seems like the one of the biggest things that we're seeing is that inability to kind of match the counter against the team. Supernova is showing that they're willing to adjust strategy, adjust their players if need be, to be able to counter the Kings or Saints. Whereas it seems like Kings or Saints really kind of stuck in that old, goats everything meta, and that's really not going to work out here in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and the question is always: is it an unwillingness? Is it an inability? I'm just gonna go with they're not doing it, and then we'll leave it up to everyone to decide. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna go into the third map here. Could be the last map of the series already. Obviously, we're going. It's a little bit, one of those things where it's a four-map series, but if we're on a winning score for
Traveling
any of the
towards
teams
Gaia
after
is
map three, then it's just over because it's a single
hmm
elimination. We're not going for map differential. And yeah, I mean, map three up 2-0 for
initiating
Supernova. Kings or Saints
rush.
need to win this, otherwise, yeah, the series is also over. So yeah, interested to see what's going to happen on Volskaya.
And it's nothing that we haven't seen before from the Kings Row Saints. They have been able to bring it back. I think it just comes down. I'm noticing on the team that they do have a couple of new players from season two in the Rose Cup, so it might just be growing pains of trying to readjust to new members on the team. Uh, it could be a change in the meta. There's so many different things that could be going on in the background that we're just not seeing here. But looking at the compositions that are coming in
Ready
for the
for
side
battle.
of Kings Row Saints on the defense, it looks like they are opting to go with the Hogrissa to start things off, as well as a May and an Ash.
Attackers
Ooh,
incoming.
May
Huh.
and
That
the
that one's an
Ash.
interesting one on this map. I would see that if we were on Hanamura, but I don't know how well that's gonna work on
So
this one.
the May I'm not opposed to. I mean, we're currently seeing it happen in Overwatch League where May is just being run everywhere. But usually you'll have a Widowmaker or a Reaper or a Hanzo with it. The Ashe is not that popular because her one shot potential isn't quite there. She does a
5,
lot of approach damage, a lot of area damage
3,
with that fire.
1.
Of course, with her more
hmm
Attackers
Dynamite.
incoming.
I don't know. We'll see.
Defend
Well, we
objective
do see
A.
the triple DPS comp coming out, or actually make that a quad DPS comp coming out for the
Quad
side
DPS.
of Andromeda Supernova. So they're looking to do a whole lot of damage. The question is,
Ooh,
will they be able to
Next
hold
is
off
doing
that
a bit
damage?
more.
Yep.
Next doing a bit more of those headshots, already taking down Guardian, and now yeah, they got the hook on the Varney, but Varney a little bit too much health, rolling away. Violet's which mooching a little bit from the side, but I think they're just gonna run around this a little bit until their fire is back.
And the biggest thing is this bunker composition, or bunker-ish composition that they got going on here is going to be deadly once the Violet gets that EMP ready to go. All you're going to need is that barrage combo, maybe the pulse bomb, and it's going to be dunzos in that area.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Varno being traded for Silky Life here, but the res is inside. No, it's hacked up, asleep, just getting the shots out. And they even get the res on the Varney here, so it's three members up here. That's the great. Oh, they do get the res on the Will here. That's good for the defense, but they need a little bit more here. Snowbird trying to touch the point will just get taken out. And I think this is all that she wrote from this point from now on. They really need to start getting some more kills. And with Nexus going down, I don't think they really have the DPS left to do anything. It's just Paragon and the supports. And Paragon is just going to
Nope.
take the dive into the icy waters behind this, how do you want to call it? This dam?
Objective lost.
Uh, well,
Defensive.
is it a dam? I guess it would be. I
Damn.
know that it's. Damn this dam. Oh, no. What you're looking at is very similar to a submarine base where they build ships, except they're building big old robots.
Nice
Little
stagger
tidbit
rating of
for ya.
Silky Life went into the spawn there. Now going even behind Nexus here. Nexus already under a lot of pressure. Will not be able to flash out the Tracer, but gets healed up. Nice EMP coming out. Nice, and then good follow up from the barrage. But Nexus does get the kill onto both Guardian and Violet. They might be able to trade this back because, of course, there's a lot of defenders spawn advantage here. But it's all up to the tanks, up to Skylife to really try and get this stagger going and get the stall going. But Paragon just rolls into the mines. That's not where you want it to be. You don't destroy them anymore. They fixed that, guys. It's not anymore in the patch notes. Will also going down. There is going to be only Seinfeld, who has been alive with Lucio for a long time, and they even managed to get the respawn on that Wrecking Ball, and Doomfist coming in. They could still pull this back, but they need to start getting the kills. Paragon getting Pulse Bomb, getting taken out. Now it's going to be Snowbrit on the Winston together with Skylife. They're both losing health fast, but they're still alive here, and they are stalling out the point for a little bit. Remember, you get about 7 minutes in total on this map, so they stall out for a good 3 minutes, including point A. Seinfeld going for it again. Not so lucky this time. There's Nexus, only 2 ticks up still. Paragon is back. Where are the kills? They're not coming in. It looks like this will be the completion pretty soon. But they just keep on coming. They don't stop coming. And there it is.
That's it. I am glad that we swapped roles for the second half, because today is not a day I think I could have handled that. But as you were saying, by the end of that, it was literally just a feed fest. I mean, Kings or Saints were doing their best to try to take off as much time from the clock, but at the end of the day, we were seeing a lot of focus fire coming in, especially from, I believe it was Asleep on the Widow, just getting pick after pick, and even if not getting picks, just doing an incredible amount of damage that the rest of the team was able to follow up on right there. We're just seeing a repeat once again of Ilios and Numbani, where we're seeing kind of this real well-rounded coordination coming out from the side of Supernova, and King Zero Saints just don't seem to have it just yet.
Yeah, and it's not all about the coordination. Obviously, sometimes the compositions come into it, but I do feel that it's not always just the heroes. You always got to understand how that combination of heroes then works on the map that you're currently playing against the team with that heroes and that composition that you're playing against. So there's a lot of factors, a lot of steps you have to make to really get that. And Supernovas really seem to make those steps properly. So it's nice to see that. And they're going to defend now with this, well, Winston Goats. And didn't really expect that to come out from them, but I guess it's fine. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they've definitely been working out really well with whatever composition they come out with, and more than likely they're expecting what we see coming out again from the side of the Kings or Saints. They're going goats. Just nothing different from these folks.
Already approaching this choke, and they will be able to be a little bit more forward. Obviously, they don't have that Winston that doesn't really have a lot of barrier. Paragon can shield a lot of damage. Paragon somehow thinking he can charge, maybe? I don't know. There's just, he's behind the Steve. It's not where you want to be.
Nope, not
poke
usually.
coming out here, though. An unshielded poke as well. Like, that's the main thing, right? With that Winston Goats, you really need that. You don't have it, and that's why Varney just falls, because there's not a lot of shielding. Just the damage can just keep piling on through. With that main tank gone, it's going to be hard for them to really stick with this. Hidden Booties going very low, going down. So will Violet and Guardian Mad, I'm pretty sure, soon as well. Another charge here from Paragon, and it looks like this is going to be a short one as well. Both teams never really defending point A for that long.
No, but that's pretty typical from what I've seen in at least a majority of my comp matches anyway. First point, unless you're going with something real heavy duty on the defense, you're gonna have a very difficult time holding objective A, and this is what we're seeing once again. Not the same time bank, but really dang close. 5 minutes, 40 seconds for them to fight on objective number 2.
Yeah, the ultimates are coming online as well for them. Not so much for the defense just yet. Stag is close to that Graviton, but doesn't have it. And there is only a sound barrier to defend for this. Self-destruct comes out and does take down Asleep and Stag. So no counter grab from the defense. Guardian falling as well. Nice shatter was there from Paragon. And it looks like Violet, without a self-destruct, just get demeched and killed here. Hidden Booties has a Transcendence, but doesn't get to use it because just loses the life. Paragon. They're going into the spawn here. That's going to be a great attempt
They were getting ready to tackle one of them right off the point, but ended up missing it.
Yeah, they get the counter charge from Varney here, but there's not that much on the point, and the Transcendence is going to get it.
Whoa!
Oh, Guardian and Violet not on the point. They completed as well. These are some fast time banks, and I think they might have actually beaten the time
Yeah, they did. They
of
did.
Supernova here. We got a series on our hands, guys. Finally, we do.
Woo!
5 minutes.
Here comes the KRS
Here
comeback right here.
comes the reverse sweep. I want to see it in chat, guys. Reverse sweep all the way.
Whoop, whoop. All right, so with the lower time bank, we are going to see Supernova go ahead and take the attack once again. Now, they had a very easy go at it on the first point, so hopefully Kings Row Saints have kind of rethought their strategy going into this to figure out how they're going to defeat this now triple DPS comp. It looks like they realized maybe. Oh nope, they're going quad DPS again. They're not even gonna. They're not even gonna change it up. Not in a little bit right there. Gonna go with the same characters, same people on the same characters for this one. But it looks like we do have some swaps for the side of Kings Row Saints. Silky Life and Nexus gonna be coming out on the Soldier and McCree, so you got the double hit scan to really take care of that Fara Mercy in the sky, which could be the difference between life or death for this defense.
Also, big change. Paragon and Snowbird not on that Hoggarist anymore, so now they're running Zarya. So they're going to be a little bit more mobile with their front line, especially the McCree and Soldier born with them. They can be sort of a hit scan death ball, which is a really weird thing. And now Varney is just looking like, what do they have? What can they do? But the range is there for the attackers. They really got to be careful about this because they can't get poked down from range and then still do the same thing. Varney going in deep gets booped away, not falling off the cliff just yet. Paragon doesn't really know where to hold his shield, shots from all angles. But Asleep is trying. Asleep is definitely trying to get some pick up here. And Silky Live's going to be the one on the off angle together with Nexus. But Asleep falls to Seinfeld, goes in deep. Snowbird getting Guardian mad as well. They do get a pick on the Skylive. Wow, Silky Live, once again, sorry about that. But doesn't seem like that's going to be enough. No mercy in the defense, though. But Soldier can sprint, so he'll be there. He'll be there pretty soon.
Yeah, but I'm not too worried about that. And as you were saying, Paragon is definitely the MVP going on right here. Just seeing that shield, essentially, you might as well just be spinning 360 like really, really fast, trying to absorb every bit of damage that's coming around them right now.
I've heard a rumor that there's something limiting you from just spinning the shield 360, that it doesn't actually eat everything we do that. They already get the kill into Nexus though, so not less pressure onto that Pharah, and it's asleep once again, starting to pop off. Already gets the 2K. Will does get the counter on Guardian, but does fall to the pulse bomb of Stag. Snowbird falls to sleep to Stag as well. To sleep, just gotta clean this one up. The last kill on the Paragon. I mean, Silky Life, I don't know how good of a soldier you are, but I don't think you can 1v6 this. I don't think anyone's ever done that with Soldier anymore.
That'd be really impressive if they could. They didn't have a
Maybe
shield.
with a nano
so,
visor,
I mean,
right?
Yeah,
like a nano visor could probably do that, but they didn't have it, so.
Yep, just couldn't do it right there. So they've
They
shaved
get
off a
Hanzo
couple
now.
minutes from the point. Yep, they've swapped over to the Hanzo, Silky Life. And now with 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock, they're going to work their way into the objective. But it looks like we're now seeing a dive defense coming out for the side of KRS.
Oh, Snowbird going very deep with those boosters and just gets the mech because of that. Meanwhile, Varney in the backline already taking out Will on his own, and that's a big pick here. Seinfeld and Paragon also falling. I don't think this defense is going to hold for much longer, but they have some ultimates. So if they can get back in for the spawn, this could be huge.
It could be, but Violet's going to take down Nexus real quick right there, and I don't think we're going to see it. Oh!
Nice BB tried, but I think he got hacked out of it. It's not a great look for that. Nexus is coming back here, but Silky doesn't even make it with the Mei in time. Another quick attack. I don't know what else to say, but again, not as quick as the attack we've already seen from the Kings Row Saints. So if there's not as much adaptability on the defense, this could still go into their favor, and we could go into a long back and forth Volskaya match here.
I feel like we're seeing some troll Skya going on here, where they're just we're seeing these really fast attacks, not so much on the defense, and we're gonna end up being at like a 6-6 or an 8-8 in this series, and that's gonna be nuts.
6-8, 8-8. I mean, it's something we haven't really seen in ages. I mean, I barely get them. I think I've gotten one in my entire Overwatch career, which is, you know, let's face it, it's over 3 years now. It's a long time, but yeah. What are we seeing here for the defense? Because it looks like they want to now run the quad DPS to the defense. Or triple,
Uh,
actually.
yeah, they're running the trip DPS. They obviously feel that it's powerful enough to take out whatever's coming in. We're again seeing goats come out. Trip DPS was one of the metas when goats was heavy to try to do best because goats is really focused on that center of gravity. But if you're attacking from all sides and not just one direction, makes it really hard to try to defend everything. So. Maybe they feel that they can do it with this. Let's go ahead and see if they can make it happen with 5 minutes on the clock.
Once again, the goats coming out. Paragon going in with that Reinhardt again. Let's see if they can do it. Not fighting against the floats of the defense this time. It's definitely a different approach for them. And they're just taking the poke right now. They're just not really doing anything. Probably just waiting until they come get in. Will have to switch over to the Moira because that's a good swap to make. And now they're gonna go in using the bubbles, using the speed boost to try to get to that objective straight away, and they do get there. So the percentage already gonna start taking up. Barney's the only one really able to touch it there. Just gets pushed off, and now we should start seeing some progress coming in for them. Ooh, Stag already doing something, and the Guardian. Early barrage, but just gets denied. Stag did get the pick of the Silky Life, and losing that Brigade for that Pharah is a trait you're willing to take any day. Coalescence already there for Whale, who's just trying to hose him down, as we say it in the biz. And that's the first tick taken. Nexus on the high ground, meanwhile, is fighting everyone on his own as the Baby Diva. Paragon charges into the minefield. That's not where you want to be, especially after the EMP hits. Snowbits also gets booped around after being hacked, and it looks like this is just going to be the end of it for this attack, at least.
See, that was an unfortunate tackle coming in from Paragon. And honestly, we've been seeing it all night. And I hate to say it, but sometimes you just need to hold up that big rectangle instead of charging into the action. Because honestly, that minefield was set off to the left side of the objective. It really wasn't constraining you too much unless you saw Varney pushing you into the minefield. Would it have been really an issue? But just charging into it, come on.
I mean, they're trying, but they're at least getting on the point once again. They already have a tick, so they only have to need 2 more. And Varney is now stunned up. Hidden Booties almost taken out, but uses the Transcendence. Snowbrit is now on the point. This is going to be a great one for them. Looks like Guardian is trying to get another barrage out. This time gets a kill with it. Does still lose the life for it, but I don't think it's really going to matter if you get 3 kills in that same fight.
No, it does not, and their time bank has now been cut in half. 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock right now. It doesn't look like they're swapping up anything in their composition because just about every ultimate except for the rally is going to be online for this fight. And I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised they didn't at least try to take on some kind of hit scan to deal with the farmers.
They're really trying to still get in here and not switching up anything, but they have a lot of ultimates. They should be able to make something work here. Guardian already team-making Nexus, though. That's a lot of damage that's going to be freely put out now because of no defense matrix. Paragon trying for a charge, not going to get anything for that. Stag under a little bit of pressure from Seinfeld. Seinfeld being the aggressive Lucio. Silky Life, meanwhile, losing the life here to Varney. Varney's been a little bit of a pain in the behind for them. It's not really been a bit easy dealing with that Wrecking Ball, and they're not getting the kill. The Graviton actually hits nobody. Tries to hit Will with that for some reason. I don't know. Guardian Mad getting the double kill, though. Looks like this is going to be another attack stomped here by the side of Supernova. And yeah, I mean, they have to keep trying, obviously, on that Kingsword saying. So they're not just going to wait until the time plays down. But it's looking harder and harder, especially with that graph missing. That was a big one.
Yeah, that was absolutely huge. I'm not for certain exactly where that grab was headed to. I think they were trying to catch Varney, but honestly, a Hammond is not the one, unless the slam goes down, that's not the one that you're really going to be trying to focus on getting into that Graviton. You want to try to take down the healers as quickly as possible, but even in that, it's been very difficult with Asleep just being all over the place on that Mercy, getting the reses in when need be. The Snowbrit essentially being the only hit scan character with that long laser of theirs, trying to keep Guardian off the point. Oh! Oh boy!
Yeah, nice EMP, but a nice defensive sound barrier in order to deny that. Both Paragon and Guardian falling here. Can that res come in? That's the main question. I don't think Asleep is going to go for that, especially with that self-destruct. It does go down. Asleep actually falling, losing the life here, but Nexus also going down. The tanks are rapidly going down here on side of Kingsword Saints, but so are the DPS. Violet also falling here. Asleep is going to try to carry this, but with only the Transcendence and the Wrecking Ball there, I don't think Asleep is going to have much more distractions. It's just going to be Seinfeld hunting down the Widowmaker. Did the job. It's only Varney, and they're not even going to be. They're still not able to kill Varney. Varney has to kill himself. That's how bad it is, guys. This Wrecking Ball is really tripping them up here on the side of Kings Row Saints. 45 seconds for B, and they're gonna go at it. They don't really have that much to work with anymore.
No, they don't. Nexus is swapped over to the Doomfist, which, again, I'm not for certain why you're running that into a Sombra. And now Stag on the Ash is going to be setting everything ablaze with that Dynamite.
Oh, the Shatter gets Varney out, and Varney now taking a lot of damage. Will he actually go down to the end of the Kings Row Saints? It does look like it's gonna happen. So close. No, still rolls away to spawn. And Asleep just healing that one back up with the Valkyrie Mercy. Hidden Booties and Violet. They're falling though. Nexus and Snowbridge showing up on the kill feed. This looks like a good start to this attack. Hidden Booties does get res back up, but doesn't have anything to work with on the ultimate side. Guardian going very low. This is they're trying to beam them down with the Coalescent. Another Graviton. This time Varney just rolls
There
into
we
it,
go.
does get taken down, and now it's gonna be hard for them to contest the point. Another barrage here from Guardian only gets Silky Life. That's not the one you want. You wanted Snowbridge on that Zarya, and Snowbridge is being able to dodge that. Nice charge. Taking Bob off the point, and Bob is not going to be able to do anything in spawn there, so it's going to be Seinfeld just continuing back. They're going to have to really try here. Varney comes back in. It's currently in overtime, so they still have to complete it. But Varney, Stag, both getting on the kill. Violet taking down Snowbird and Paragon as well. It's going to be it. That's going to be the Kings Row Saints losing this match, losing this series. 3-0-4 Andromeda Supernova.
That was so close right there. They had the setup right there to be able to take that into a 6-6, but they just were not able to take. Gosh, I love this.
I love it. It's the best. I love it even more. I love it even more with that
right here.
technical
This was the showstopper right here. That minefield on the objective, coupled with the EMP. That was just absolutely huge coming out. Kings Row Saints, the underdog, really putting up a good fight in this matchup, but Supernova just shining a little brighter than the sun this evening. Going to be moving themselves on to the quarterfinals. So let's go ahead and start up this next section with our player of the match. So Mana Class, who have you been looking at for this evening?
Oh, it's hard because I feel like on both teams, a lot of players have been playing multiple roles. There's not really that one player that's been on everything. I think players like Will and Paragon, they've been pretty stuck in their role. Like I wouldn't say stuck, but like they've been consistent in which role they're playing. But it's hard for me. I think one that's been really showing up in the versatility and the value they brought to the team is Violet, both on the Diva and the Sombra. So it's definitely one I'm looking out for the MVP candidates.
Oh, I'm going to have to give some healer love to Asleep because I was seeing that same versatility between the Ana and the Widow coming out from Asleep during the match. Even
Oh
the
yeah,
Lucio that we saw them
and the Mercy. Yeah.
and Mercy just all over the place with different healers coming in on that DPS for the quad DPS that Supernova ended up coming in with and just completely pulling off on the attacks both times around. Just absolutely successful for them. So I'm going to go ahead and give my player of the match to Asleep. So go ahead and start blowing up the chat with who y'all are voting for as your player of the match this evening. I'm going to take a quick look at the schedule to see what's supposed to be coming up for the rest of the week. Let me go
Yeah, it's
ahead and
probably going to be. You know what? I know what's going to go up for the next week. It's going to be some good Overwatch, and that's all
oh,
we
it's
really need to
definitely
know,
going to be.
right?
I would love to say that that's all we need to know, but
Yeah,
it would be good to know at least what's going on. So we just saw KRS versus Andromeda Supernova. Tomorrow evening on the Crusaders Records channel, we'll be seeing Atlantic Lightning, which is representing Spectrum Canis in our 8 organization crossover cup versus Team Shadows from the Crusaders will be posted sometime at the end of OWL tomorrow evening around 10 p.m. Eastern time, so to speak. And then for this next week, we'll be moving into round 2, where so far we have some of the results as to what's gone down this evening. Dirt versus Nebula Phoenix on Monday, August 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Onomatopoeia stream. we'll see Andromeda Singularity versus Feels Platman, uh, which is representing the Rose Cup in this series on the Rose Cup channel at 10 p.m. on the 5th. And we will also see uh, Burning Blossoms versus Andromeda Supernova on the 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as and this is going to be decided tomorrow evening between Atlantic Lightning and Shadows. The winner of that match will face the Hanamura Hellhounds on the Crusaders stream. So it's going to be a very interesting week because we're going to have the quarterfinals at the beginning of the week, and then the semifinals at the end of the week, and then the finals already next week. So it's going to be rolling really quickly. So you do not want to be missing the action that is going to be coming down during these streams.
I definitely do not, because I mean it's just been a great it's been a great run so far. I mean, it's nice to see all these different teams from different communities come together. They all obviously play within I wouldn't say their own communities, but they play within certain community projects, tournaments, leagues, and they might not have had the opportunity to play against each other otherwise. Maybe they scrim each other every now and then, but it's very different in a competitive environment. It's very nice to that we have the opportunity to give them that, that experience of saying, you know what, here you go. Here is that. Yeah, just basically that opportunity you wanted to play against more teams within your skill bracket that you normally maybe wouldn't see.
Nope, and that's definitely. I feel the creators of this is exactly what they were going for. This is looking to be something that might continue forward as kind of like an in-between seasons gig for a majority of us. We seem to run very parallel with when our seasons kind of start and end. So hopefully, we'll be bringing in even more organizations, which would mean more teams going into maybe the second rendition of this. But with that being said, that's going to be it for us here at Galaxy Esports. We hope you've enjoyed the stream. Be sure to check out the other streams. They will be hosted on the Galaxy Esports channel, but if you want to check them out on the main channel, be sure to take a look at the schedule. If you don't know the schedule, rewind this video just a little bit or take a look at uh, or give a shout out to the leader of your organization. They should be knowing what's going on. With that being said, that's it for us here at Galaxy Esports. I'm Captain Jack.
Yeah, and I've been a class, and we hope to see you in the next one.
See ya.
Obviously, have a good night, guys.